Have you ever watched a lion walk through the tall grass? There's something different about him. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. While every other animal reacts to fear, the lion responds to purpose. When the gazelle runs, it's running from danger. When the lion moves, it's moving toward destiny. Another example in the jungle: when the elephant passes, trees tremble. But when the lion roars, everything stops. Not because of his size, but because of his spirit. The lion's power is not in his strength alone, it's in his attitude. Somewhere deep inside every man and woman lies a lion, silent, patient, waiting to awaken. The lion within us does not roar for attention, it roars for purpose. It does not seek approval, it moves with intention. For the lion knows something the rest of the jungle forgets: attitude determines altitude. You see, my friends, the world doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to will. The lion doesn't sit beneath the shade hoping the prey will appear. It rises, surveys the field, and begins its pursuit. That's the attitude that changes everything. The moment a person decides to move with the confidence of a lion, the very atmosphere around them begins to shift. Opportunities reveal themselves. People notice. Life seems to open its gates for those who know where they are going. Every man and woman who ever achieved greatness learned to walk like a lion. Calm, centered, yet absolutely certain. They understood that fear and doubt are the true predators of potential, and the only way to overcome them is through action. Steady, consistent, disciplined action. When you look at a lion, you don't see hesitation, you see belief. And that's what you must cultivate. The lion doesn't ask permission to be powerful. It simply is. It's time we rediscover that spirit within ourselves. You were not designed to live small. You were not born to follow the noise of the herd. You were meant to lead your own life with courage, conviction, and purpose. The lion attitude begins in the mind. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. Awareness of who you are and what you're capable of when you refuse to quit. Build that mindset brick by brick. Start by controlling your thoughts. Speak to yourself with the calm authority of one who already knows the outcome. For as the old saying goes, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Each day, feed your mind with courage, discipline, and vision. Refuse to let fear dictate your direction. When the crowd hesitates, move forward. When others wait for the perfect moment, act. The lion doesn't wait for conditions to be right, it creates them. Attitude shapes destiny. It is the unseen force that builds or breaks a life, the silent architect behind every triumph and every downfall. A person's attitude is far more important than their circumstances, their background, or even their natural ability. Two people can stand in the same storm. One will see the rain as ruin, the other as renewal. It is not the storm that decides who survives, but the spirit within. Attitude, my friends, is the difference between those who rise and those who surrender. Think for a moment about the great men and women who shaped history. They were not born into perfection, nor did they travel paths lined with comfort. Many faced doubt, rejection, even ridicule. But they carried something powerful, an attitude that refused defeat. When others said it couldn't be done, they adjusted their thinking instead of their dreams. That's what separates the lion from the rest of the jungle. It's not just muscle or might, it's mindset. The lion believes he is king long before the world agrees. You see, our attitude acts like a magnet. It attracts circumstances that match its frequency. The individual who wakes up believing the day will be difficult finds endless reasons to prove himself right. The one who wakes with gratitude and determination finds opportunities hidden in plain sight. Life does not deliver what we deserve, it delivers what we expect. Expectation is the soil from which destiny grows, and attitude is the seed that defines what kind of life will bloom. Every thought we think, every word we speak, adds another brick to the structure of our reality. A positive attitude doesn't mean ignoring hardship. It means facing hardship with the quiet assurance that we will overcome it. It is the calm courage of the lion who steps forward even when the odds stand against him. The truth is, no one can control the weather, the economy, or the opinions of others. But we can control how we respond. That single choice, how we respond, determines everything that follows. The person with a winning attitude walks differently, speaks differently, even breathes differently. There's a steadiness about them. They're not shaken by temporary failure, because they see it as feedback, not finality. They don't envy others' success because they understand the law of cause and effect. That the same mental seeds planted with patience and faith will yield their own harvest in time. When you adopt this perspective, frustration turns into fuel. Obstacles become instruction. Every experience becomes useful. Attitude is not something we're born with. It's something we build. Like a muscle, it strengthens with practice. Each morning is an opportunity to decide what kind of person we will be. Will we walk into the day like the frightened gazelle, scanning for danger? Or will we step like the lion, sure of our direction and certain of our strength? The choice is ours, and that choice, repeated daily, molds the destiny that awaits. Courage begins with belief. Before a man can act boldly, he must first see himself as capable of victory. Every great achievement begins not with strength or luck, but with a quiet conviction deep within the mind. It is belief that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary leaders, that turns hesitation into movement and dreams into realities. Without belief, courage cannot exist, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something greater than fear is worth pursuing. A lion does not step forward because the path is safe. It steps forward because it believes it was born to lead. That is the essence of courage. The lion understands that danger is a constant companion in the jungle, but it hunts anyway. It doesn't ask whether the odds are fair. It trusts the power within. And that same spirit must be built within us if we ever wish to conquer the jungle of life. Belief is the foundation of all human achievement, and courage is the first visible expression of that belief. When a person believes in themselves, their actions gain a new rhythm. Their voice carries weight, their eyes reflect certainty. You can sense it even before they speak. They may face the same difficulties as everyone else, but their response is entirely different. While others complain or retreat, they rise and press forward. It is this inner decision, to believe despite evidence to the contrary, that ignites courage. Every inventor who failed 100 times before success, every entrepreneur who risked everything for a vision, every artist who created in silence before the applause, all began with belief. Courage is not built in comfort. It's forged in the quiet hours when doubt whispers and faith must answer. When you tell yourself, I can, even when you don't yet know how, you awaken a power that has been sleeping inside you all along. The mind, once convinced, instructs the body, the habits, and the environment to align with that belief. Suddenly, doors appear where before there were only walls. People call it luck, but it's not luck. It's the natural response of life to faith in motion. To live with courage, one must understand that failure is not final. It is merely part of the process of becoming. The lion misses more hunts than it catches, but it never loses its confidence. It does not question its purpose after a failed attempt. It learns, adjusts, and tries again with the same fierce belief. That's the courage born of conviction. And so must it be with us. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the steady whisper that says, I will try again tomorrow. When belief grows strong enough, fear loses its hold. You begin to see challenge not as threat, but as opportunity. You stop waiting for the world to assure you, and you start moving because you know who you are. Courage, then, is simply belief in motion, the living proof that faith, when acted upon, reshapes the entire course of destiny. Calm confidence is mastery. It is the quiet power that needs no noise, the steady flame that burns without smoke. True confidence does not shout, it speaks in action. It is not born from arrogance or comparison, but from a deep understanding of one's own ability and purpose. The calm man is the master of himself, and the one who masters himself becomes the master of circumstance. Just as the lion walks with deliberate grace, never hurried, never restless, so too does the man who has learned to trust his own strength move through life with composure and clarity. Confidence built on noise is fragile. It crumbles the moment pressure arrives. But confidence built on preparation, patience, and self-knowledge cannot be shaken. The world often confuses loudness with strength, yet history proves otherwise. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and creators carried an aura of calm certainty. They didn't need to prove their worth because their actions revealed it. Like the lion who surveys the savannah, unbothered by the chatter of lesser creatures, the confident person stands firm, knowing that time and effort will prove what words cannot. Calmness is not weakness, it is the highest expression of power under control. When emotion rules the mind, reason retreats. But when calmness rules the heart, wisdom steps forward. The man who can remain centered when things fall apart around him possesses something far greater than talent. He possesses mastery. Life will always test our balance. The storms will come and chaos will visit every life at some hour. Yet the calm and confident individual does not panic because he has anchored his thoughts in principles that do not move with the wind. Confidence grows quietly in the soil of consistency. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, each time you persist when it would have been easier to quit, you strengthen that inner foundation. Calmness is a product of knowing that you are prepared, that you have done your part. The lion is calm before the hunt because it knows its skill. It doesn't waste energy on doubt. It acts when the moment arrives, and in that moment all of its training, patience, and instinct merge into effortless execution. That is the calm confidence of mastery. In our lives we must seek that same state. We must learn to replace panic with patience and hesitation with faith in our preparation. When you truly believe that you can handle what comes, fear loses its hold on you. Confidence then becomes not something you wear, but something you are. It is the quiet rhythm of certainty in motion, the natural expression of one who understands that control begins within. Calm confidence is what allows a person to face chaos with a steady gaze and to move through difficulty as though it were simply another lesson in strength, purpose over fear. That is the law that governs every life of greatness. When purpose takes command, fear loses its voice. Every man and woman who has ever achieved anything worthwhile began by deciding that their why was stronger than their worry. The lion hunts not because it enjoys the chase, but because survival demands it. Its purpose silences hesitation. In the same way, when an individual discovers a reason greater than their fear, courage becomes natural, action becomes instinctive, and progress becomes inevitable. Fear feeds on uncertainty, but purpose provides direction, and direction dispels doubt. Most people live under the shadow of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what others might say. They let these invisible chains dictate their choices and diminish their dreams. Yet, the remarkable truth is that fear is only as strong as the purpose is weak. The moment you commit to something larger than your comfort, fear begins to dissolve. The person who knows exactly why they rise each morning no longer wastes time questioning what could go wrong. Their eyes are fixed on the mission ahead. That's what separates the ordinary from the exceptional, the clarity of purpose. Purpose does not remove fear entirely, but it changes its meaning. The same energy that once paralyzed becomes the very fuel that drives you forward. Think of the mountaineer facing the icy wind on the summit. The cold bites, the danger is real, but the purpose of reaching the peak burns brighter than the pain. Or consider the parent who works tirelessly through the night. Their purpose transforms exhaustion into endurance. In every field, those who win are not necessarily the strongest or the smartest, but the ones whose purpose is unshakable. When you find your purpose, you begin to see obstacles differently. They no longer appear as reasons to quit, but as tests to refine your will. The lion, when it spots its prey, doesn't concern itself with the terrain, the distance, or the risk. Its purpose has already decided the outcome. Likewise, once a person truly knows what they are after, distractions lose their hold. Fear may still whisper, but purpose speaks louder. To live by purpose is to understand that life's challenges are temporary, but the fulfillment of one's mission is eternal. The man guided by purpose does not seek applause. He seeks progress. He measures his days not by comfort, but by contribution. When purpose directs your path, even the smallest step carries meaning. The noise of fear fades because your mind is occupied with something greater than self-preservation. It is focused on creation, growth, and service. Purpose gives the heart courage, the mind focus, and the soul peace. It is the compass that keeps us steady in uncertain times, the unseen hand that lifts us above the tremors of doubt. When purpose becomes the ruling force within, fear becomes nothing more than a fleeting shadow passing over the light of conviction. Focus is power. The human mind is the most remarkable instrument ever known, yet for most people, it scatters its energy across 1,000 trivial pursuits. Like sunlight passing through a magnifying glass, it is only when thought is concentrated that it gains the power to burn through limitation. The lion understands this law instinctively. When it hunts, its eyes lock on one target. It doesn't chase every movement or get distracted by every sound. Its focus gives its strength meaning. Without focus, even the mightiest energy is wasted in confusion. Every successful life, every great achievement begins with the discipline of attention. The world is full of noise, opinions, temptations, and endless distractions, but the man who learns to direct his focus rules them all. He is not led by circumstance, he leads it. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack concentration. They chase too many things and catch none. Their minds flicker like candle flames in the wind, never steady enough to produce real heat. Focus is the difference between movement and progress, between activity and achievement. There is a quiet strength in single-mindedness. When you commit yourself wholly to one purpose, you begin to awaken dormant powers. Your ideas become clearer, your steps more deliberate, your decisions more decisive. Every hour invested carries more weight because your energy is no longer divided. The great mistake of modern life is the belief that we can give our best attention to everything at once. The truth is, nothing significant can be built without depth, and depth requires focus. A person who learns to focus becomes like the lion in the hunt. Patient, alert, deliberate. The lion does not pounce before the right moment. It studies, calculates, and acts with precision. That's how results are created, not by doing more, but by doing what matters with total attention. Focus refines power, and power properly directed becomes mastery. When you concentrate your energy on a single goal, you begin to shape reality itself around that intention. The universe responds to clarity the way iron responds to a magnet. Focus also brings peace. Scattered thoughts breed anxiety, but a clear mind moves calmly through chaos. When you know exactly where you are going, distractions lose their attraction. You stop wasting emotion on things that do not advance your purpose. The man of focus doesn't need to rush. His direction gives him speed. He understands that every step in the right direction is progress, no matter how small. Train your focus as you would train a muscle. Guard it as you would guard your most precious treasure. Each day, set your attention on one meaningful pursuit and give it your full self. Over time, that concentrated effort builds an unstoppable momentum. The jungle belongs to the lion not because of its size, but because of its focus. The same law applies to life. The one who learns to hold his gaze steady, who refuses to look away from his vision, inevitably becomes the one the world must follow. Self-discipline is the mark of kings. It is the invisible crown worn by those who rule not over others but over themselves. Every great leader, every man or woman of substance has mastered the quiet art of self-command. Discipline is not a restriction, it is liberation. It is the ability to direct one's own actions rather than be driven by impulse or emotion. The lion, though fierce, is never frantic. It does not chase every sound in the jungle or waste its strength on meaningless motion. Its power lies in restraint, in the deliberate conservation of energy until the moment of necessity arrives. Discipline is what separates desire from achievement. Every person wants success, but only the disciplined are willing to pay the price. The dreamer imagines, but the disciplined builder rises before dawn and brings the dream to life. It is through consistency, repetition, and patience that greatness is carved. The world belongs not to those who merely wish, but to those who work day after day, even when motivation has faded. Self-discipline transforms vision into reality. Without it, even the finest intentions drift into the wind. The disciplined mind is a fortress. It resists distraction, it ignores temptation, and it remains calm under pressure. The undisciplined man, however, is a slave to his moods, to the opinions of others, to the path of least resistance. He starts and stops, forever chasing convenience instead of excellence. But the man of discipline understands that temporary discomfort is the cost of lasting freedom. He learns to delay gratification, to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Like the lion who waits for the perfect moment before striking, he knows that patience, guided by discipline, leads inevitably to success. Discipline is the daily decision to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's rising when it would be easier to rest, continuing when others quit, keeping your word even when no one is watching. It is the unseen foundation beneath every lasting achievement. The disciplined man commands respect not because he demands it, but because his actions earn it. His life radiates order. His habits speak of intention, and his results speak of mastery. Every act of self-discipline strengthens the will. Each time you conquer a small weakness, you build the muscles of character. That strength compounds quietly, day after day, until it becomes unshakable. The lion's confidence is not born in the moment of the hunt. It is built through every disciplined choice that preceded it. Similarly, our victories are won long before the world sees them, in those silent moments of decision when we choose discipline over ease. The disciplined life is not glamorous, it is often lonely, repetitive, and demanding. But in its quiet rhythm lies greatness. To rule oneself is the highest form of power. For the man who can master his habits, his mind, and his emotions, there are no real limits. Self-discipline is the scepter of the strong, the signature of all who rise above the noise and command the respect of the world. Adaptability ensures survival. It is the quiet wisdom of nature and the secret law of progress. The lion understands this well. When the dry season strips the land bare, it does not despair. It moves, it adjusts, it learns the new rhythm of the earth. The ability to bend without breaking, to adjust without losing purpose, is what separates those who endure from those who vanish. Life does not reward rigidity, it rewards the flexible mind, the spirit that learns to flow with change instead of resisting it. So many people spend their lives fighting the inevitable, clinging to what was instead of embracing what could be. They fear change, not realizing that change is the very breath of growth. To resist it is to suffocate progress. The man who adapts thrives in every season, for he understands that success is not found in stubbornness but in evolution. The same wind that extinguishes a candle can fuel a fire. It all depends on how one positions himself. Adaptability is not the same as weakness, it is intelligence in motion. It's the power to observe, to adjust, and to move forward without losing your center. The wise man learns from his environment and shapes himself accordingly. When the path shifts, he does not stop walking. He finds a new way. The lion adapts to its surroundings without ever forgetting its identity. It changes its strategy, not its spirit. And that is the essence of resilience, to remain yourself, even as you transform. In the modern world, where change moves faster than ever before, adaptability has become the new strength. Technology, society, opportunity, everything evolves. The one who refuses to learn becomes obsolete, but the one who stays curious remains relevant. Those who once dominated by power alone now find that the future belongs to those who can pivot with purpose. The adaptable person does not mourn the past. He mines it for wisdom and then steps boldly into the new. Adaptability is born from awareness. It begins with observation, with the ability to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. The man who sees clearly adjusts quickly. He doesn't waste energy blaming or resisting. He uses that energy to act. When faced with failure, he studies it. When faced with opportunity, he seizes it. When life closes a door, he builds another. That is how the great endure. They move with life, not against it. The lion that survives the changing seasons does so because it remains alert, flexible, and patient. Likewise, the individual who adapts with grace rises above the tides of uncertainty. He learns to turn obstacles into allies, setbacks into signals. Adaptability is the art of thriving amid unpredictability, of staying strong yet supple, fierce yet fluid. To adapt is to stay alive, not just in body but in spirit, in ambition, and in the endless pursuit of mastery. Vision leads the pride. It is the invisible force that gives direction to strength, the compass that transforms raw potential into purpose. Without vision, even the most powerful creature wanders aimlessly. The lion leads not because it is the largest or the loudest, but because it sees further, because it knows where it is going. Vision gives meaning to motion, and without it, life becomes a series of reactions instead of a deliberate creation. The man with vision lives intentionally, while the man without it drifts, carried by the winds of circumstance. Every great achievement begins as a vision, an image held firmly in the mind long before it becomes visible to the world. The builders of nations, the pioneers of discovery, the creators of progress all began by seeing what others could not. Vision is the power to imagine a better reality and to commit yourself to its making. It gives direction to discipline, courage to struggle, and strength to persistence. Without vision, effort is scattered and potential lies dormant. With vision, every act becomes meaningful, every sacrifice justified. The lion surveys the horizon, not to admire it, but to understand it. It knows the territory, the patterns of prey, the paths that lead to opportunity. In the same way, a person guided by vision studies life, not to fear it, but to master it. They are not distracted by noise or misled by temporary setbacks, because they have already seen the destination in their mind. Vision is the still image that keeps the spirit steady when storms arrive. It is the light that cuts through confusion, the voice that whispers direction when others lose their way. Those who lead by sight of the unseen. They understand that clarity of vision precedes greatness. A person cannot rise above the level of their own thoughts. If you can see only obstacles, you will live among them. If you can see possibilities, you will rise to meet them. Vision expands the limits of what is possible because it transforms belief into focus. The clearer your vision, the stronger your steps become. To build vision, one must first dare to imagine without fear. Doubt and limitation often whisper that dreams are foolish, but it is vision that silences them. It is not arrogance to dream big. It is responsibility. For no one can lead, create, or elevate others without first seeing a world beyond their current one. Vision requires patience, because the world rarely recognizes what it cannot yet see. But the one who holds to his vision with quiet faith eventually shapes the very world that once doubted him. The lion's pride follows because it trusts the lion's direction. Likewise, people are drawn to those who see clearly. Vision breeds confidence, and confidence breeds leadership. The one who walks with vision becomes a beacon in a world clouded by distraction. To see before others see, to believe before others believe, and to act before others act. That is the essence of leadership and the hallmark of true vision. Persistence conquers all. It is the quiet, steady force that outlasts talent, intelligence, and opportunity. The lion does not always succeed with its first chase. It may fail once, twice, even more. Yet it never stops. It returns, again and again, driven by an unshakable instinct that hunger is temporary but quitting is forever. Persistence is the mark of all who rise above mediocrity, for nothing great has ever been achieved without it. It is not the brilliance of the moment that creates success, but the endurance of consistent effort over time. In every field of life, persistence separates the dreamers from the doers. The world is filled with people who started strong but finished nowhere, because they lacked the discipline to keep going when the excitement faded. Success rarely greets us at the first attempt. It waits at the end of countless small failures. The difference between those who win and those who give up is not luck, but refusal to stop. When you persist, the obstacles that once seemed immovable begin to yield. Time, patience, and consistency have a way of bending even the hardest walls. Every step forward, no matter how small, carries its own quiet victory. The lion knows that persistence feeds survival. It learns from every failed attempt, sharpens its focus, adjusts its strategy, and continues the pursuit. There is a lesson in that for all of us. Life will test your resolve. You will face moments of exhaustion, doubt, and disappointment. But persistence whispers, keep moving. It does not allow the temporary pain of effort to outweigh the permanent regret of surrender. It transforms adversity into growth and struggle into strength. Persistence is not blind repetition, it is intelligent perseverance. It means learning from what didn't work and trying again with greater wisdom. Every failure teaches something essential: what to improve, what to avoid, and how to refine one's aim. The man who persists doesn't simply outlast his challenges, he evolves through them. Like the lion that studies its prey, he learns the terrain, senses the timing, and perfects the hunt. The more he persists, the more capable he becomes, until success is no longer a question of if, but when. Persistence builds character. It shapes the will into steel and turns uncertainty into faith. The one who persists develops a calm confidence because he has proven to himself that he can endure. He no longer depends on luck or timing, he depends on consistency. Every morning he wakes, he knows that another effort, another attempt, brings him closer to his vision. Persistence is not about intensity, it is about continuity. It is the decision to rise after every fall, to work one more day, to believe one more time. The lion doesn't count its failures, it only counts the hunts that matter. In the same way, the persistent soul doesn't measure the number of times it's been defeated. It measures the distance it's traveled. With every setback overcome, the spirit grows stronger, and the path to triumph becomes clearer. Leadership is earned through example. It is not proclaimed with words alone, nor granted by title or circumstance. True leadership is demonstrated in action, in the quiet consistency of character, in the courage to do what is right when no one is watching. The lion does not command respect by roaring at the herd, it commands it by walking with confidence, by showing strength tempered with wisdom, by acting decisively in moments that matter. People follow those who embody the qualities they admire, not those who merely speak about them. Every great leader has understood this principle. Leadership is less about directing others and more about exemplifying the values and behaviors that inspire respect. The individual who leads by example does not wait for perfect conditions, nor does he rely on the compliance of others. He demonstrates integrity, persistence, and calm confidence in every decision, and in doing so, creates a standard that naturally draws others to follow. Like the lion, the leader does not need to announce his power. It is visible in the way he moves through life, measured and deliberate, yet unstoppable. Leading by example requires courage. It requires standing firm when the easy path is tempting and choosing the difficult but right course instead. It demands that you take responsibility for your actions, your failures, and your victories. Those who seek to inspire through words alone often falter, because words without action are hollow. Leadership is not a position, it is a pattern of behavior that others recognize as trustworthy, capable, and honorable. The world naturally aligns behind those whose deeds reflect their convictions. To lead effectively, one must understand that influence flows from consistency and authenticity. The lion does not pretend to be brave, it simply acts according to its nature. Similarly, a true leader's actions are consistent with their beliefs. When decisions, attitudes, and conduct align, people sense it immediately. This alignment creates trust, and trust is the currency of leadership. Without it, authority is fragile. With it, even modest efforts can inspire monumental loyalty. Leadership also requires patience. The lion teaches us that timing is everything. A leader cannot force readiness or obedience, he can only cultivate it by showing through example what is possible. Each action, each choice, is an opportunity to demonstrate what it means to lead with courage, clarity, and conviction. The leader's influence grows quietly, accumulating strength with each act of consistency and wisdom. Those who follow are drawn not because they are commanded, but because they witness the standard being lived and aspire to match it. Ultimately, leadership is less about being in front and more about being seen as reliable, principled, and strong. It is about showing the way through action, not through declaration. The lion does not demand, it demonstrates. The true leader, like the lion, earns the loyalty of the pride not by force, but by embodying the values that others wish to emulate. Leadership is therefore a reflection of character, a mirror in which others see what they can aspire to become, and a path paved with example rather than rhetoric. And here lies the timeless truth. The moment you think like a lion, the world begins to treat you like one. You see, life bows to those who know where they stand. The jungle respects certainty. Success, too, respects the man or woman who dares to move with quiet, unshakable faith. So if you truly wish to change your world, begin here within. Build the lion mindset, decide who you are, believe in it completely, and carry yourself as if the universe itself moves in your favor. Memorable quote: "The world steps aside for the one who knows where he is going, just as the jungle falls silent for the lion who walks with purpose." Starting today, walk with the courage of a lion. Speak with conviction. Think with clarity. Act with purpose. Don't wait for the world to recognize your strength. Show it through consistent motion. Rise tomorrow with a clear goal and move toward it without hesitation. Remember, the jungle of life belongs not to the timid or the uncertain, but to those who dare to walk with the attitude of a lion.